We're very excited that everyone's here today to walk with us through the journey of the Packers Pro Shop implementation.
So I've been with the Packers for 3.5 years, and I'm just going to go over a little bit of the history around the Packers and the Packers Pro Shop, just to get us all warmed up. So basically, Packers is one of the oldest NFL teams, for those of you not familiar with American football. Founded in 1919, so we're coming up on our 100-year anniversary that we're already doing some marketing planning for and getting that rolling. And we're the only community-owned Major League sports team in the U.S.
And not only are they community-owned, but they're also a small market team. Like Green Bay is actually not that big, but they have a huge fan base, right? Like everyone knows about the Packers. The Packers fan base is worldwide. It's pretty amazing, actually. And that leads us to the next slide here.
Yeah, so we're going to jump into a trivia question. So for those of you that don't know, we've been selling out every game since the 1960s. So there's a big list of waiting for season tickets. People, are you on it? people put their kids on it when they're born. They actually will the tickets to their family members. So upon death, you could get a will of season tickets. But, so we're going to start with a trivia question. Whoever comes closest will win a nice little cheese head can cozy.
Works with water, too.
So approximately how many people are on the Green Bay Packers waiting list for season tickets? 32,000. Any other?
Oh.
Wait.
Oh, a little higher.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right.
What was that?
What did you say? 98. One more. 104. I'll weigh in back. 140. So what was the closest?
That's the closest. He's the winner. It's 125.
25. 111 was closer.
Who said 111? Okay, where's our... Amy's got our cheese heads.
Yeah.
111. Yeah, so if you get on the waiting list now, you're basically getting season tickets for your grandchildren.
So I picked that because you can't Google that one. So just a little history on the Packers Pro Shop. We're one of 5 NFL teams that actually run their own retail operations. So that makes us a bit unique in the market space. It allowed us to branch out and get onto the Magento platform. Our initial website debut was 1997, and it's a custom platform that it was the same platform this entire time until just about 3 weeks ago. So it served us well throughout the years. It was a local company, and we really outgrew it. It's really the main reason for us to start looking beyond that. And then we launched our new store 2014. It's giant. If you get an opportunity, it's even non-Packers fans enjoy a trip to Lambeau. So credit to Wayback Machine. This is our website in 2000. So little URL up there. It's fun. That's our logo that we're moving away from. Within the past about year and a half, I've been moving away from that. Did a lot of ad testing. This is 2006. A lot of ad testing, and no one knows the Packers Pro Shop flag. They know the G. It's pretty basic, pretty obvious. So left nav, that's fun, 2006. This is when I joined, 2013. A lot of text links, things like that. People don't read, y'all know that. And then this is just pre-launch before we went onto the...
Before you go to the next slide.
Yeah.
So I want to make a note that Marissa was so excited for her new website that she started stealing assets from the new website and putting it on the existing website, like the logo there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I switched the logo a while back. I had to get the G on it. Good for us. And then this is our desktop version of the responsive site on Magento. So
the current site as of 3 weeks ago when we went live.
Yeah, so we're fresh.
Pretty fresh site.
New. I mean, so far, as far as just some general results, we're seeing a huge increase in mobile conversion rates. We were pretty awful before. We're well below retail standards at 0.1% conversion rate on mobile. And now we're closer to 1, so we'll keep continuing to increase that. We'll do as well. So just a little bit about the RFP process on the project. I used this model to help weight and vet which vendors had great responses based on what was really important to us. That's a spreadsheet I got from a former boss. I have to give her credit, Adrienne Hartman at J.J. Keller. And that was really helpful in narrowing it down and getting to, we got down to 4, and then basically awarded Zilker technology with the Magento platform. So one of the few reasons that we chose Zilker was really they handled multiple platforms. So they came to us and really recommended Magento as a platform based on what our business needs were. They've worked with top retailers in the past. So previously I was the biggest customer with the client or the vendor that we were using prior. So I didn't want to be the biggest customer anymore. I want to learn from people that have big retailers, and we're the Packers and we're sports merchandise, but I mean it's retail, it's e-commerce. So that was one of the big reasons. And then just the technical, the project management was very clear.
So when you say strong project team there, you're talking about me, right?
Well,
not the whole team.
A little bit.
Like
You were on the technical. Wes was pretty
talking
good.
about West over there, right?
He can BS his way through anything. And then just a little bit about, this was our initial project timeline and plans and what we're doing, the different stages. I just want to mention we were going to go live in May, and everything moved along much quicker. So that's good for budget and getting going in our off season. The other key piece was testing. So there was a lot of testing that we did and training. And the training involved our customer service associates on the back end, and then our associate Amy on the front end, or building out content and getting used to it, so that when we went live, we were able to just roll with it and run with the tool and not feel like you're just so foreign on this new tool.
Oh, and also, one of the reasons we were able to go live earlier than planned is we had reached a point in the project, in the development, where we felt like we had a minimum viable product, an MVP, and not Aaron Rodgers, the MVP, but a minimum viable product. We felt it was a good point in time to launch the website. That's a huge milestone, right, to go live. I mean, the site's been live for 3 weeks. There's still some issues. There's still bugs we're working through, but it's nice to say, we're live, and we can move on from there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Matt's going to go into the goals, and I just want to mention a few things. Previously, we had no address validation. We did not do credit card validation up front. We were pretty old school, so our inventory was not integrated into our website. Mm-hmm. So by getting all of those things out of the way, I mean, we've caught a ton of fraud orders just by obviously implementing some basic, taking payment at the time of the order, not after the warehouse associate runs around, grabs your cheese head, and tries to process your credit card, and it's not working. So it's saving us a lot of time on the back end.
Mobile was pretty much not there. You actually had a thing on your FAQ that said if you want to order on mobile, just don't.
It said to call.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. Yeah.
All right, so establishing goals. So we knew we needed a mobile-first e-commerce platform, right? That's number one. They wanted a content management system that was easy to work with. We had to integrate with their existing POS system, which was NCR Counterpoint. We needed to do a migration of all their existing data, products, reviews, customers from the legacy site to the new. We wanted to maintain the same level of marketing and SEO tools that they had in the past. Marissa wanted easy management of promotions. They wanted ease of maintenance, hosted solution, and decreased fraud. And so how do we meet those goals? So we chose Magento, obviously, right, as the e-commerce platform. And we chose Magento Enterprise for a few reasons. One, we wanted the ability to scale, right? It's a big website, and during holiday season, I mean, I think the peak is 10,000 orders a day or something. I forget what it is, 500 an hour or something. So we need the ability to scale. We wanted some of the enterprise features, such as gift wrapping. That was a feature we had they had on the legacy site. And so the Packers don't have, so they have a really big retail operation, but they don't really have much of an IT department. So they needed a partner to help them with this transition, right, going to Magento. So they chose us, Zilker Technology, to work with and help them design and implement the solution. We're providing ongoing support now and until they decide they don't like us anymore. We partnered with Nexus to host the environment, which has been absolutely fantastic. Those guys have been super responsive and getting back to us on technical questions, and the site just performs really well. I've been really happy with it. And then the approach. So we chose to go with an agile methodology for project management, but I call it an agile but flexible because we really didn't stick to the agile methodology. Like, for instance, we were supposed to have 2-week sprints. Some of them stretched to 3-week sprints, 4-week sprints. I don't think we ever did a single sprint retrospective. It just didn't happen. We did something at the beginning called a blueprint phase. And then we did rapid iterative development. And it was very rapid. We only had 2 developers, myself included, as one of them. And then finally we did frequent demos to ensure we were getting the right feedback from Marissa and the team.
Yeah, and higher management so they could see progress of the project itself.
So I'm going to go quickly through this slide, but basically this is what we call our blueprint process. And all it is it's an upfront kind of requirements gathering session. So we talk about why are we here? So history of the project, key objectives, elevator pitch and product box we do on day 1. The MVP we already talked about, right? The minimum viable product. We want to know the short-term and long-term vision of the Packers. We discover challenges and risk. What's going to keep us up at night during the project. We learn to work together, and that's important before we start actually building things. We want to learn how to work with each other. And I think most importantly is we had transparency. We documented everything in a wiki, and everyone had access to it. Packers and Zilker and even other parties. Magento Enterprise had access to it. They had access to our wiki. They had access to our codes. They were watching what we were doing, and they were providing feedback.
We rated and prioritized things based on a scale of like meh, then I believe it was shit, and then fugly, and then sucks ass was worse. So that was the stuff that had to get taken care of before lunch.
That's how we prioritize things. Yes. And Marissa just wanted to get it out of the way. She said she's going to curse in this thing, and she's going to try to stop herself. I told her just do it. All right. So the elevator pitch. I'm sure most of you know what an elevator pitch is, right? But it's like if I walk in a Lambeau Field and I get on the elevator and Clay Matthews, right, linebacker for the Packers, gets on the elevator with me and he's like, "Hey, man." And I'm like, "Hey, Clay, how's it going?" He's like, "Hey, what you working on?" I'm like, "I'm working on a new Pro Shop website for you." He's like, "Oh yeah? Why?" And I tell him this. That's basically what an elevator pitch is. And we also had a product box. This is basically if we took what we were doing in this project and put it in a cereal box and put it on a shelf, how do we want to market it? So we had a slogan, and we had a little bullet point of benefits. And we do these 2 things we do this on day 1 of the blueprint process to kind of break the ice for one and kind of get everyone on the team on the same page, right? Everyone just met day 1. We're trying to, get people talking and, so this is a good way to do it. So a little bit more on blueprint, and I'll go through this slide fast again. So day 1, we do a kickoff meeting. It takes about a day. It's when we define the elevator pitch, the product box, talk about the MVP, long-term goals, all that kind of stuff. And then we start doing sessions with the stakeholders, the IT group, business users, and that's about 2 to 3 weeks worth. Mm-hmm. And what's really cool with Magento is we were able to do out-of-the-box like demos on day 1, which we're not able to do with other vendors' commerce software. So it's pretty cool to spin up Magento in the cloud and have it running and show these guys, what they're going to be getting their hands on it, start doing that gap analysis on day 1. Mm-hmm. We also assess the current system. We understand the needs of today and tomorrow. I talked about documentation. We use Confluence for the wiki and Jira for our project management. We start working on high-level solution architecture, and then our creative team starts working on the UI design. We start building personas, which is how we understand all of the actors in the system. So for instance, you have Wes, the crazy Packers fanatic who buys everything there is on the Packers website. You have Deanna, the customer service rep, who just is dealing with people on the phone and used to deal with angry Packers Pro Shop customers. And then you have people like Rob, who's the guy up at 3 o'clock in the morning trying to get on your website with a fake credit card and make some fraudulent orders. And then at the end of this blueprint process, we get stories. And so all these stories get loaded into Jira, and that's what we used to then work off of for the entire development period, really. And for stories, we like to tell customers to think in terms of benefits and not features, right? Like a lot of customers hear buzzwords and they're like, I just want that feature, but they don't really have a reason why. And we want to get away from that and focus on the benefits, right? So like this example story here, as a customer, I want to enter a promotion code to receive a discount. The benefit is customers receive a discount, right? That's important. All right, so implementing the solution. No one goes live with an out-of-the-box Magento site, right? Unless you're just trying to sell things, then it might look out of the box. But we had a lot of things we had to change on Magento to get this to look and work the way we want it to, right? So whenever we found something that we needed to change, the first thing we did was we went to the Magento Connect marketplace and started looking to see if there's any way we could buy a plugin that would get this feature we needed. So we bought tons of plugins, and some of them are on the site today. You might see your plugin out there. Some of them we bought, and they were crap, and we got our money back. And some of them we bought, and they were crap, and we didn't get our money back. So I was really excited to see that in the 2.0 marketplace, you have that Magento, you have like a trial period, right? So that's good. So all these challenges I have listed here are actually things we didn't buy a plugin for. These are all things that we customized. And so the first one is integration with Counterpoint. So Counterpoint is their POS system that they use in the retail store, the physical store, at Lambeau Field, where you buy Packers gear. So it is the master for products, it's the master for orders, and they use it for fulfillment. So we had to push orders down to Magento, push customers down to Magento, pull product inventory and order status from Counterpoint and push that back up to Magento. And so just like with anything else, when we first approached this, we said, how are we going to do this? Is there a plugin out there? So we went and looked. We found some plugins. We went through them. We didn't really find any that worked for us. There was a few, and they were pretty good, but they were either not mature enough or they didn't provide the flexibility that we needed. They would require us or the Packers to change their business and warehouse processes, and we just weren't ready to do that yet. So we ended up rolling our own solution, and the name we came up with for this solution was called Animal Farm because of the two products that we used, RabbitMQ and Mule. So RabbitMQ is an AMQP compliant queuing open source software, and so every time an order is placed on the website, it gets sent directly to RabbitMQ, and then MuleSoft, Mule ESB actually, is the glue that makes it all work together. So Mule will pick up the orders off the queue, process them, and interact with Counterpoint. Magento interacts with Counterpoint through Mule. And the reason we chose Mule primarily is because it comes with a Magento and an AMQP connector. So that allowed us to not write almost any code for Mule. And on the next slide here, I'll show you some of our secret sauce. So this is the Mule Anypoint Studio. And you can see on the left there, that first box there, subscribe to order queue, is an AMQP connector. So that subscribes to our RabbitMQ, pulls orders off the queue, and then there's that database connector in the middle there. That calls a stored procedure in Counterpoint that will then create the order. And then based on the outcome of that, whether it errors out or it's a duplicate or whatnot, it updates the order status in Magento. And like I said, we really didn't have to write any code for this. We just had to learn how to use Mule. And I didn't know how to use Mule, and we have a guy at Packers named Mike. We nicknamed him the Mule Man. So I'm Mailman, he's Mule Man. Because he really embraced Mule and loves it. And actually, the Packers are now doing more work with Mule.
Yeah.
And then we had an exception strategy for when things go bad. Basically, depending on what happens, we'll send an email to Mike at this point, because he likes getting emails when things go wrong. And the next challenge was design. This is it's an NFL team, right? And there's a lot of rules and guidelines you got to follow, branding guidelines. We also needed a design that promoted and honored the history of the Packers. Of course, it had to be responsive and mobile first. That was a primary goal because the old website was crap when it came to mobile.
Yeah, our mobile site was awful, if anyone's ever used
It's actually a separate site.
Yeah.
It was not even the same site. The most important thing is we had to come up with something that everyone likes, and really that translated to something that Marissa liked. And the final design that we have today is a combination of our creative resources and Packer's creative resources coming together.
Yeah, we wanted to pull more of the football feel into the website. In the past, it was just really product focused. And we wanted to tie a little bit more emotion into the brand. So really trying to take advantage of being the official shop of the Packers, using photos and imagery that we have. And we have a lot of different competitors. Fanatics, NFL Shop are some of the big ones. They don't have all the ability to use player imagery the way we do, since we are run by the team.
So this first design here, this is what we demoed to the Packers for the RFP. And then the next design was after Magento was chosen. We actually, when we did the RFP, we actually said you can use Magento or we can build a totally custom solution for you, which was, of course, more money. So at that time, we didn't know if we were going to do, it was still what we recommended, but we gave them the option, if you don't like Magento, we could do something custom. And this was the design after we knew Magento was chosen. And this is a pretty good example of a theme that doesn't really promote the brand or meet those guidelines, because that doesn't look Packers at all. It's kind of monochrome, right? That's supposed to be green, but it looks black. And then this was the design that we had at the end of the blueprint process. This is what we were going to go live with. And then somebody didn't like it.
We have a pretty big base of female shoppers as well, so I wanted to lighten it up, make it feel fresh and open, not contained. Especially with the responsive design, it's easier to flow the different angles and looks of the site with a more open, clean, white look. Don't say gray ever to Matt. I've never seen anyone so angry. So gray got ruled out.
Yeah, this is the design that we went with. This is what's live on the site now. It did take me a little while to warm up to this design, going from the more masculine green design, just because I spent so much time getting that to work, and then she's like, I don't like that. Something else. And she wanted to make the header gray, where it says Packers Pro Shop, and I'm like, no, that wouldn't look good. So it's white.
Or white.
And we apologize. We totally forgot, despite saying one of the goals was a mobile-first website. We have no mobile screenshots in our presentation because we're just like slackers, I guess. So homework assignment for everyone. When we're done with this presentation, get on your phones and just go to packersproshop.com and check out the mobile website. We'll appreciate it. It'll make us feel better for leaving them out. And then product migration. So in Counterpoint, everything has a master SKU and a long SKU. So a master SKU is like Aaron Rodgers' home game jersey, right? And then a long SKU is Aaron Rodgers' home game jersey, green, medium, right? So that translates very well to Magento's concept of configurable products and simple products, right? So every product on the website right now is a configurable product with at least one or more simple products. So even like this cheese cooler, even though you only get it in orange and you only get it in this size, it's still a configurable product, and there's a simple product underneath it that's just this color and size. And we did that just for consistency, because we didn't want to change the way they were doing things in Counterpoint, because it's still used for the physical pro shop. So to bring products into Magento, we bought a plugin called uRapidFlow, and it allows you to generate a CSV file, and we use that to import products, relationships, categories. We put the products into the categories, and prices. We imported about 8,000 products. Now, we don't have 8,000 products on the website, but like I said, everything has a configurable and a simple. So some jerseys might have, 24 products underneath them. And then there was also some products that were marked as enabled but not web published or something weird, so they still got imported. Some legacy products that they don't sell anymore. Right. And then for incremental updates, so Counterpoint generates a view of products that have changed in the system. And every 15 minutes, Mule goes out, grabs that view from Counterpoint, and then we'll spit out a CSV file, and we'll push that to the Magento server. And then there's a cron job on the Magento server that'll run every 15 minutes. and kick off the rapid flow profile. So we always have updated inventory from Counterpoint. They still manage products in Counterpoint, so if they make a change to a product price, for example, it gets pushed over to Magento in the next 15 minutes. And then images, I was given a big zip file of like 12 gigabytes worth of images for all these products and had to figure out a way to import them. Basically just wrote a custom script that pushed images directly into the database. So that was pretty straightforward. Flowers and personalized products. So the Packers Pro Shop sells a unique and actually exclusive item, which is flowers. They're roses from Lambeau Field that you can get dyed green and yellow. So you can show off your Packer pride.
Partner with FTD on that.
FTD. So this is unique because the inventory is actually managed outside of Counterpoint, and you have other restrictions like you have to deliver on, you can only deliver on certain days, and there's only so much inventory. There's actually not that much flowers inventory that we can sell. It sells out pretty quickly. And then you can also give a card with it, right? A gift card, or not a gift card, but a flower message.
Yeah.
And they can only be shipped next day. So this is completely custom. So we had to customize the front end and the back end for the CSR reps to be able to take flower orders. And then personalized products. So these are like jerseys and shirts that you can get your own custom name and number, and then you hit a preview button, and it'll show you, like, for instance, Magento #1, right, on the site. So I know there's a bunch of plugin providers or extension providers out there that do custom products with a preview. We were pretty lucky in this in that the legacy implementer actually gave us their code and said, here you go, you can use it, and we just plugged it in the website. So we didn't have to use a plugin for this either. This was kind of a freebie. And an interesting thing is we did implement a dirty words filter, which was this huge list of just words that you can't put on a jersey or shirt.
Which is really fun to read if you're having a bad day.
It's a fun read, I tell you. Yeah. Whenever you're angry, just start reading through that dirty words list.
Good stuff.
You'll expand your vocabulary. And then, shareholders. So this is actually a really unique requirement because the Packers, being a community-owned team, they have shareholders, right? And so certain products are exclusive only to shareholders. You can't buy them if you're not a shareholder. And per SEC regulations, shareholders can't be identified, right? So we couldn't put all the shareholders into a Magento customer group, or we couldn't put a attribute on their customer profile that said, yes, shareholder. We could only validate them by their certificate number, their stock certificate number, and their zip code. So we thought about this and we're like, well, how are we going to do this? Do we want to create like a separate Magento store for the shareholders? And thought about that for a while, and then like, no, it's not a good user experience. So we came up with a solution where we created a shareholder login. So you enter your stock certificate number and your zip code, and then you click the validate button, and you're taken to the shareholder landing page, which looks like this. And then what's cool about this is, so you enter that information and validate, and you're taken here. And what's cool is, so these products will also show up, like, for instance, those hats there. If you're a shareholder and you log in as a shareholder, and then you go to the hats category, those shareholder products will be in that list of all the hats. So you'll see, you don't just see them on the shareholder landing page. They're throughout the whole website. And that created some other challenges because we had to customize the search so that if you weren't logged in as a shareholder, these products don't show up to you. And if you were logged in as a shareholder, if you searched for a cap or a hat, you saw these shareholder products.
Yeah, and previously it was completely separated. So it's really hard to just merchandise the products and commingle them.
Yeah, now you can log in as a shareholder. And when I say log in, you're not actually logging into the store. You can actually buy stuff as a shareholder anonymously. Mm-hmm. That login just basically puts a cookie on in your browser that says, I'm a shareholder, and gives you access to this stuff. Gift cards. So gift cards was a significant challenge because we needed to both buy and sell gift cards in store, the physical store, and online, right? And Counterpoint is the source of record for these gift cards. So we have Magento Enterprise Edition. It comes with a gift card feature. And we're like, do we try to move this to Magento and use that feature? Because this is actually pretty good, right? And then we're like, nah, we don't want to do that because then we have to work with the store and get them to do something different, right? We don't want to change anything on the physical store. Just deal with that later. So the solution was we basically rewrote the Enterprise Edition gift card functionality to work with physical gift cards. Magento makes a call to Counterpoint through Mule to check gift card balances. And this has been a significant challenge because I guess we didn't anticipate all the different ways you can use a gift card. And people have been using them, now we've been live for 3 weeks, and we see weird things. Like people use a gift card and then store credit and then a credit card or PayPal, and somehow things don't get calculated correctly on the back end. So that's still something we're working through. Other challenges, I'm running low on time, so I'm going to skip the first 3 and just talk about returns. So returns is an asterisk by it because that is the one feature that we didn't go live with. We talked about it during the blueprint phase. We had meetings with the warehouse folks on how they want to do returns, but we didn't put that in the first release. So right now, if you want to return something, you still get a physical piece of paper with your package, fill out a form, or you can call and get your items returned.
Yeah,
So
we'd have to change a lot of processes. We're working through the process change right now before we can move forward with the returns.
But we do plan on using Magento Enterprise out of the box RMA feature. But we do know it's going to be significant work on the Counterpoint and Mule side to get that to work. Just because, again, it's so many different scenarios. When you talk about returning stuff and returning inventories and exchanges and exchange for what size and color, it just gets really complicated. All right, so what's next for the Pro Shop? So things we want to do is we want to enhance the checkout process. Right now, it's mostly out of the box, and we'd like to streamline it a little more. We're hoping that when we go to 2.0 or 2.x or whatever it'll be, probably in 2017 maybe, that this will help some in streamlining the checkout process. We do want to bring back the virtual gift cards, the Magento gift cards. At some point, we'd like people to be able to buy a gift card and get a code in their email and send it to their mom so she can, in return, buy them something. Like I said, we talked about the RMAs. We're actually working on a POC right now to do in-suite delivery, so this is pretty cool. So it would be a mobile app, so the packers would put like a iPad or Android tablet in the suites at Lambeau Field, and if Aaron Rodgers is doing awesome and throwing all those crazy Hail Marys like he always does, and you're like, wow, I want to buy something, you pick up the tablet, and we'll have a version of the website within a mobile app that's has some limitations, some parameters around it, where when you place an order, you'll get your items delivered to the suite in, I don't know how many minutes, but...
It takes a little bit.
30 minutes,
traffic.
whatever. And then gift registry. So we know Magento EE comes with a gift registry feature, but it is absolutely horrible. So we turned it off. If there's any Magento people in the room, please fix it. Maybe it's fixed in 2. I haven't looked.
And we have crazy fans that want to do wedding gift registries with Packer stuff, so that happens. And then a shout out to Reflection. We had Reflection, it's a personalization tool on our previous website. We had the visual search, which worked really well for us. We saw some great results with that. We're going to move forward with that on the new site. It's not up there yet, but hopefully in the next, I would say probably 3-4 weeks, we'll get that rolling with some different personalized widgets throughout the site and then the visual search.
Yep. And then the last thing we'd like to do, and this probably isn't a comprehensive list. There's other things, but we want to kind of automate the dropship process a little bit. Right now, the Packers dropship fulfillment is mostly manual. There's no real way to track. Inventory in Magento isn't even kept for dropship items. Right now, everything's just back orderable. It's like an inventory of 0. So that's kind of tricky.
There might be faxing going on.
All right.
All right.
And now we have some more trivia. All ready?
All right, so what Green Bay native founded the Packers in 1919?
How many people are Packers fans?
Whoa, there's some good ones.
That's it?
Curly Lambeau.
Curly Lambeau, Lambeau Field.
Who's the winner?
There you go.
And we'll do one more trivia question, and then we'll take some questions from the crowd. So what current player is the Packers' all-time leading scorer?
Oh.
Yeah, where was that? Nice. Yeah, for sure.
All right, thank you all
Yeah,
very much.
thank you, everyone.